Hi, my name is Francis Fox. Here I am. Still not enthusiastic about giving these chats. I think people are working on me with magic so that I disconnect from this and think, you know what, if it's only 12 people, why am I doing all of this? So, this is important because I have information from the other dimensions that can help to make better decisions or to understand what's going on, at which time your reaction will be different. Anyway, I was a government trained remote viewer, product of a military mind control programs from before inception. In other words, my birth was planned. I am, according to the information I have, related to somebody in history that was known for having historical importance having to do with level of psychic abilities and skills, which was Helena Blavatsky. One day I'll be allowed to see my file, and I do know I have two sisters that I've never met because of all the secrecy around my history and my birth, etc. Everybody knows more about me than I have been allowed to know about myself. It's important that I know this because it's something I need to share with my family. And it's not good, as I've always told them, that other people know more about us than we know about us. So, what are we doing here? Well, I'm giving you information as I see things come up. At this point, it's very important for the planet that the United States be in a good, solid position. If the Galactic Federation is working as closely with Trump as it certainly appears it is, then we want to support the people that have that support because that support indicates that whatever is going on that these people are supporting is good for the planet, for evolution, for the process, so that we don't self destruct. A lot of times I don't understand things, I'm not in agreement with things, but I place a lot of importance on what's in the other dimensions, which is where reality is created. But somebody's got to take care of the physical dimension where things have already been created, but they need to be cleaned up. So let me just dive in. Univision, my group went back because we had an indicator that there was some shenanigans going on having to do with controlling the Hispanic vote. I have to say that I'm sure I lost a lot of my followers because of I do support Trump taking care of the immigration issue. And my followers are all Hispanic. And yet we're all understanding that this is something that out of control immigration was an accident waiting to happen. We need to stop that from happening, and it goes against our heart. On the other hand, 300,000 missing children came in under those conditions, and that is not acceptable. So obviously it has to stop. But anyway, so Univision, there is a focus on Univision now. Turns out that YouTube will not allow Univision News live on YouTube. You have to sign up for it. That's really weird. I think it's really weird. I don't know that they've done it to anybody else. And we had gone, that was today, I think. And last night we went back to Univision and there's still the shenanigans going on. And I picked up, this started between 16 and 18 years ago or 17 years ago. And I went and I looked on Google, and that was when an Israeli businessman bought Univision. What's an Israeli businessman doing? Purchasing Univision. And very into Hollywood, not a good mix. After that, they got very tied up with Disney, mind control. Weird stuff was going on, totally contrary to what the Hispanics wanted in Univision. But anyway, it's continuing. So we were clearing. Here's the trick. The reason all these things can go on, Trump, is because the bad guys who know magic, meanwhile, other people are discussing whether magic is real or not, and they know all about it and they know how to use it and to focus it. They discovered how to veil things so that you can't see what they're doing or remember, such as 300,000 Hispanic children are lost, and we don't remember. Even my group, we were supposed to work diligently on getting that revealed because it was veiled and we don't even remember. Those veils in your mind that, so in working with the Univision thing and working with the Vatican situation, what I discovered is that what they do is they do rituals and they open up a portal to off planet. I've known that for 30 years. And then those ETs are the ones that put the veils on so that nobody remembers or can see things. Or you see it and then afterwards you forget. So you don't take care of it. So we worked on that and we were able to actually, I believe, make a huge difference in the Vatican. They have something at the top, at the cupola of the Vatican, that appears to be vibrating at the frequency of 988. That is the frequency of the third pyramid in Egypt. And if you can vibrate, if your coccyx can vibrate at the vibration of 988, which is the vibration of the tip of that pyramid in Egypt, I know this is like, what? You can create magic. And then your intention decides how you use it. Well, that's what's at the top of the Vatican. So I undid the top of it, and then I said, why don't we go ahead and let's bring in cannabis and just plant cannabis all over the Vatican. And then I almost laughed myself silly because we are in Revelations, and the problem is that the whole immigration and the sex trafficking, all of this has been going on forever and ever. Nobody saw it. They couldn't see it. What's the matter with people? They can't see it. The mind control thing, I talked about it for 30 years. Nobody believed me. Then they would forget. Those veils can be taken care of with cannabis. So what am I talking about? Here's my description forever of cannabis. Like for what, 10 years, the 10 years that I've understood the importance of that herb. Cannabis is a multidimensional plant. It gently lifts veils so that you can see what's happening in the other dimensions. So its big side effect is paranoia. What does that mean? It means that you can see some spirits and some ugly stuff. So it creates paranoia. No, it doesn't. It gently lifts veils and you can see what's around you. That spirit was always there. All that ugly stuff was always there. Okay, so where am I going with this in the Vatican? In the other dimensions, you plant cannabis and the veils are going to get lifted and they're going to stay lifted. In addition to breaking the black magic that was anchored to the top of the cupola of the Vatican. I wish you could see those chats in English or you could hear them, but YouTube does not allow my chats in Spanish to be translated. This whole YouTube thing is getting very irritating. Okay. Cannabis unveils the other dimensions gently, not like some drugs that throws you into them, and it does it gently, Trump. And we're going to be living the other dimensions because we're in Revelations. It's going to happen anyway. Wouldn't it be nice that it would be happen in a gentle way? By the way, one of the things that was unveiled at the end of the chat we did, which was less than an hour ago, was that the Vatican is upset because they're not getting money from the United States. I imagine some of that funny money lending charitable stuff, cutting it, is affecting them. So they're planning with ETs something in order to get that money back again or to create big issues. We don't want the the Vatican planning anything with the bad ETs. I'm not sure that they're going to be able to continue to do that. I have no idea, but I'm just letting you know, Trump. These are not friends of ours. And these are certainly not good representation of Jesus Christ. This whole marketing of Jesus Christ is not a good thing. I'm going to lose a significant percentage of my followers because of the whole issue of Catholicism and Jesus Christ in the Vatican and people mistaking the Vatican, Catholicism, etc., with Jesus Christ. And that's okay, because they're going to find out anyway, because all that's coming up. So staying on the cannabis issue, YouTube sent me an email. They are reclassifying my sensory therapy video on cannabis that has the vibration plus some other music. and the image you're seeing behind you and other cannabis plants, it's not good for children. That video is not good for kids. Meanwhile, it's great for autism. I mean, it's like great. But I had already said it wasn't good for children. But you can't see those videos now unless you're signed into YouTube and you're over 18. Okay? They don't want stuff that unveils and relieves. They don't want multidimensionality, not the Vatican, not YouTube, not the bad guys, because it has been those limitations that has allowed them to get away with murder. So I got that email twice from YouTube. Today again, and then yesterday. We reviewed again, and they are not going to be able to see it unless they're signed in and they're over 18, which means they're not going to see it. Okay. Back to cannabis. Guess what is one of the really good things about cannabis? It's great for sex. I don't remember if it was Chinese medicine or Ayurveda. I think it was Chinese medicine that has recommended cannabis for couples for 2,000 years. So you have a population collapse. The simplest thing would be cannabis. Okay. Well, we're not going to be able to shift people's consciousness quickly enough because we already told them it was a food of the devil, cannabis. Meanwhile, what it does is purifies the food of the devil, which is fire, so the devil ends up with no food. But you can use my videos that have the frequency of cannabis, which is 420. So I'm going to put those on. I'm going to put it on for several minutes, which means that YouTube is not going to put this video up on my YouTube channel because you have not signed in and said you're over 18 years old. But I'm going to put it on for like 1 minute. Check how your shoulders are. Okay? And I'm going to put it on and then close your eyes and just tune into your shoulders and see how they relax. That was less than a minute. Could you see the difference in your shoulders? Actually, it relaxed the lower part of my body also, which is really, really good. And it relaxes the organs and the conduits between the organs. It's really, really incredible. So we were going all over the universe, my group, the Mantrista movement, finding who we could call in to help release the veils that would come down when we were working on that Catholic hospital in Miami that does funny things with organ transplants, satanic rituals in their morgue, and the veils kept going down, and then my group couldn't see anything, and then I was removing the veils, and so we looked all over the universe, and there is a Egyptian god that can help, but what helps the most are the dragons. You call in a dragon, like the feng shui dragon, and they pick up the veil and they release it, but then it comes back down again, and that's why we had to find how were they doing this that quickly? And it had to do with having called in ETs that make that magic happen. Now, that's not unusual. But the level at which they're working that dynamics is, I've known the thing about the ETs being the ones that they call in, um, but that's at a level I wasn't expecting. So you have cannabis that is going to help, having to do with people having more sex because they're going to be enjoying it more, and then having more children, and then maybe we can get the population collapse reversed. Meanwhile, cannabis is like super cheap. Let it go. Don't classify it. Don't have it only in special stores. Just let it go, like okra. Do you have okra under government control? No. Do you have other plants under government control? No. Marigolds, that by the way have a lot of the same properties as cannabis and kind of look like it? No. So let it go. And the old fuddy-duddies are not going to be able to help. They're not having sex anyway. And you got to take care of this sex thing and the whole population collapse. So forget the fuddy-duddies. You're getting them out of Congress. All those old people, you're getting them out of there. Forget them. Let the truth dictate what gets done, not the trying not to bother people. We're in a paradigm collapse. The old niceties maybe are not what should be controlling us. Okay. The whole Jesus Christ thing, what's Russell Brand, who, by the way, I like. I've never felt comfortable with his Christianity, even though I think he's great with Jesus, because he's like really natural. The whole Christianity thing and quoting the Bible, I quote the Bible, but it's not a book that I have under my arm. I use it as a reference when I think this something is big enough that's probably there. But he's like he said I don't know what to do with all these arguing that's going on X. I don't know where to go, what to do. Do I just take a break? Why don't we do what Jesus Christ did? Now, I didn't read the Bible. I've read many pieces of it here and there for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, but I haven't read it. But the thing that stands out to me is that Jesus Christ was a healer. He helped people with healings, not just with words. And he took care of spirits, but you don't have to take care of spirits. So now I'm going to teach you how to do a healing. And then I don't want for people to be spending as much time quoting a book that was written 300 years after he died. I would like for people to go to what the man actually did. Now, before he started to teach his ministry, he went and gave a baptism. Yeah, he used water for purification. Yes, many times I tell people when they have troubles, you need to go to the beach, and they'll go, okay, fine, but tell me, what do I need to do to take care of this? And I said, I just told you, you need to go to the beach, you need to go to the water, you need to be out on the water, you need to watch documentaries with water. Yeah, I know that, Francis, but I want to know what I take care of. That's your medicine. You need more water element to put out the fire that is killing you with cancer and with high blood pressure. Da, 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 da. They don't get it. So, but that'll take you a while to learn because it took me a while to learn. And I can teach it to you really quick if I have enough time. But let me teach you how to give a healing. You don't even need any special music. You can put your 2 feet on the ground right now. Did you notice my blouse is too small on me? If I don't get liberated from this little apartment, the bad guys don't get picked up, I'm going to end up being a size 40. It's really that simple. I need movement. Okay. Feet on the ground, you breathe. Then I want you to do something. The sphincter of your anus, pronounce it in Spanish. I want you to do this with your sphincter as you're sitting with 2 feet on the ground. And you'll notice, like it happened to me, my breathing changes. And I'm much more relaxed. My voice becomes softer, more feminine. I'm not hyper, which means I'm not disassociated. Then you can take your hands if you want and do the Apana Mudra, the two middle fingers with the thumb. And there you go. Your breathing changes again. It's deeper, it's softer, you're not so hyper, it's not the end of the world. And then I want you, and you choose where you're going to do it from. Now, the spirits don't want me to do this because they're bothering my nose. You're going to decide whether you want to send a beam of light from your heart or from your third eye. Okay? Your mantra, which I would like for somebody to put up on the chat, please God help me with my intention to heal him or her, depending. Now, you choose a person you want to give a healing to. Now, if you want to give me the healing because you can't think of anybody, you can do that. But if not, just think of a child, your mate. Okay. So you're going to repeat that mantra, which I guess I'm going to put up because I'm not sure anybody that's here. English is okay. And you decide who you're going to heal. Okay, here's the mantra. Okay. Please God help with my intention to give a miraculous healing to, and then either from your heart center here, or from here, you're going to send out pink light or white light. You decide, or what comes out naturally. So go ahead, relax. I see a lot of you are sending it to me. Repeat the words silently. Do not move your mouth with the words. Do not move your mouth with the words. Okay? Go ahead. But that's it. How do you feel? See how relaxed my face looks? Now, you're not ready to deal with spirits. You probably don't even believe in them yet, and yet your religion does. Every religion does. Every medicine, except for modern medicine, also takes care of the spirits, just like Jesus Christ did. So I think the whole thing of the arguing and what religion is better, first place, there are going to be no religions. So it's silliness. What we're going into next, there are no religions. That's why Tantric Buddhism is so interesting, because it teaches you to be powerful and to do magic, but white magic. You don't have to go to a religion or to a god because, and I think it says in the Bible, we are gods. It's just we've been blocked from it. So how much better do you feel? I think a lot. And the same way I can teach you in under 5 minutes interspecies communication by connecting you with your pet, you can learn to heal in less than 5 minutes. You can also learn interspecies communication in less than 5 minutes. It's really a belief system. So rather than debating the whole Christianity issue, which is really questionable because, contrary to the Constitution, 50% of what's in the Bible you will never back up because you don't believe in it. So just go directly to Jesus Christ, which is what you want anyway, and just be like Jesus Christ. Now, I don't know how many hours a day he spent giving healings or how many hours a day he spent giving lectures, but I suspect he didn't. I suspect he spent most of his time taking care of people, not lecturing to them. And you can do the same thing. Look at how different my demeanor and my speech is because I gave somebody else a healing. So when you give a healing, you're healing someone else and you're getting a healing. Why? Because your energy bodies have to line up to give the healing. And then you also feel good about yourself. Your agenda for everybody to be okay, you've pushed forward that agenda. So we've been misled in a lot of things. But I think Jesus Christ he lived a very simple life, okay? And he did very simple things. And he didn't run around all suited up and trying to impress people with anything, with his home, with his suits, with his clothing, with anything. He was there to help people, which is statistically, I understand, what makes people feel best when they're helping others, which is, in other words, they're on their mission, which they chose, and it should be something very compatible with you. Doesn't mean you have to give up your job or dress or not dress nicely. It just means that maybe if you're a Christian, that you should be doing what Christ did rather than talking about what was written 300 years later. That to me doesn't make any sense. I think most people that are Christians are not real aware of the history of the Bible. And I'm not sure how good that they would feel if somebody stood up and said, I'm a Christian and we're going to go ahead and we're going to make you kill your first child. I don't think that that's going to play well, but I think that's in the Bible. Or say, we don't like the way this is, Chicago's functioning, so we're going to ask that there be a catastrophe, like the Temple of Babel, and just tear it all down. I don't think so. So this picking and choosing doesn't really work. And having a religion or a movement like Christianity to where it's a very narrow path at a time when the planet is changing. We're into a new paradigm. It's not working. Christ would have never rode over on a horse to the Mideast to kill the infidels who refused to accept him as their God. He would never have done that. I mean, we all know that. So I think it's the whole cannabis issue. It's just too simple. It's too effective. So let's deviate it and let's prostitute it and let's control it. Controlling Jesus Christ and putting him through a filter of a book that was written 300 years later. I mean, I still don't get it how people can actually not understand that and say, wait a second, let me take a step back here. So I did a chat. I'm not sure that you guys all got it. Mr. Hakeem Jeffries is probably a victim of mind control, but the least that he's a victim of is an incredible level of black magic done by Schumer, ordered by Schumer. That's what he looks like. And he has a lot of black magic on his third eye. I do believe I did say this the last chat. On his third eye so that he won't have wisdom. And that's why he has no problem looking like a fool. Because he's not really him at this point. He is being manipulated in the other dimensions with magic, and you're not even sure you believe in magic. And maybe we're getting the explanation of why so many people in the Democratic Party are acting so damn dumb. because black magic can make you do things you wouldn't have done. I have to ask my master something. Do you remember? Let me ask first. Let me ask first. Let me not go off on. Let me ask first. Yeah. Okay. Do you remember? The other day I said a really weird story, and I talked about a monk, a very powerful monk, who from underneath his belly button he had something that looked like a penis, but it was this thick, and it was probably 6 or 7 feet long in the other dimensions, obviously. And he was sitting there, and it was draped over his shoulder, this shoulder, and just hanging there. And I was like, oh my God, what is that? Now I had seen that in myself, except very short, years before, and I was like, what is this? Now this man was a tantric monk that knew that there was going to be an accident in the Gulf of Mexico, the BP oil accident, before it happened. And he was desperate for us to take him there in a boat. We didn't have a boat. We weren't on the right side of the, we were on the Atlantic, and this is the Gulf. And we just thought, what the hell, we'll take him to the beach. We didn't know. Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. We did not know. He wanted to try and prevent something that was planetary. It wasn't just an oil accident. But that was the monk that had that extended penis, which I now understand not enough about it. But that is the cannabinoid receptors, the channels, but very powerful and very long, and I don't know enough about it. But you know what? This weekend I'm gonna go into that further. It's tremendous power. Why am I talking? Why did I talk the other day? If I don't even have enough information, it sounds crazy. It sounds like yuck. And why am I talking about that? Because the whole thing when Charlie died looks like a really sweet man. I'm not picking up any vibe other than that. His wife, another story. When when you introduced her, and you were on stage and she came towards you and she hugged you and you hugged her appropriately, and she just kind of went into you under your left arm, it really bothered me, that image, what she was doing. And I was thinking, is this bothering me because I think she's making like a pass or a play or trying to turn on Trump? And no, that's not it. What is it? Do you remember I told you that I had seen one other person that had that extension? Um, and he was military. This was 30 years ago here in Miami. He came here and he took over Miami, and he actually did magic until he did a couple of things that he said was magic and it wasn't. He was a charlatan, but he did have the ability of magic. He gave an event and he would have everybody walk towards him. They'd be in a line like to be blessed. And I stood to the side and I could see that he had that apparatus, and the people that would walk towards him and put their head down for him to bless them, it would extend into the people. That is what Erica did to you, Trump. She connected her cannabinoid receptors to you, and very specifically on the left side, which is the air quadrant. We're not going to go into all the things why she wouldn't have done it on the right side. This is more mind rather than physical. She knows magic, and she doesn't just know magic. She knows an incredible high level magic. I've only seen that in that monk, in myself, and in that military guy 30 years ago. I have asked monks about that, high level monks, and they don't know what I'm talking about. So I think it's something that's really, very few people have that on planet Earth. Why she would have it, I don't know. And that's why I keep going back. did I make a mistake? I mean, is this, I just asked the dolphins and they said yes. So what did she do to Charlie? Now, when the military guy did that to these 200 people that would walk towards him, it was to control them. And he did control all the alternative medicine and all the Reiki people and all the therapy people in Miami for a couple of years. He lived for free in a mansion. People gave him cars. They did all sorts of things, and he was mind controlling them, but with that specific apparatus. So we obviously need to know more about that. So Erica, that's a really high level of magic. Who's controlling her? So I have finished. We will see. I have another note here. Under the Jesus Christ to teach you how to heal. And then underneath, I have a note that says, still looking for God. You're still looking for God outside of yourself. In the Tantric Buddhism, contrary to the Buddhism that the Dalai Lama teaches, the Tantric Buddhism starts with the premise, you are a God. Now, let's get your act together. And they have compassion, but no mercy. Such as when I was in Tibet and they trained me, they had compassion, but they had no mercy. If what I needed was to be put in that cave for who knows how many days to develop my mind, that's what I needed. It was my mission. I didn't tell them to do that, but they knew. They knew that what I needed was to develop my mind so that I could later on teach it. So let's go back to the Dalai Lama. I'm having some issues with my connections with Buddhists because the person that I have, that I'm connected to, is not a Tantric Buddhist. He's a Sutra type Buddhist. Control your anger. He's not the Tantric Buddhism where they came in and they removed a curse that was on Venezuela. So putting this out, I need to get in contact with the Dalai Lama, but it turns out that the people who swear they don't represent him in Georgia were blocking me from getting some messages to him. So any help that I can get on that, Trump, I would really appreciate it. It's not just a question of getting in monks. It's a question of getting in a specific group and then pointing them in the right direction. It's not a submachine gun. It's very focused intention to continuously be clearing the land that Washington, D.C., political buildings, all the politics, that land underneath needs to be continuously purified. And then I have that property in Miami that my control owns that is a portal that he opened because of all the black magic he did, that when we worked on it as my group, we turned it onto a good portal, but that portal needs to be stable, and then we don't have to worry about hurricanes in South Florida because that portal will stabilize the whole area. I need the tantric monks. I need to be in control. And I am not able to get it with the contact that I have now because they are being controlled by a hierarchy that are not tantric monks. And they're also slowpokes. They would take the slow boat to China in order to stay in control of the boat. I want fast, because that's what we need now. So any help that I can get on that would be appreciated. Any help in getting out of where I'm stuck, because no matter how much I pull at the shirt, it's obvious it's too small. I'm going to keep putting on weight. I can't walk around the block or even to my car. So can we take care of that? I see you're picking up a lot of cartel people. Mine are not cartel people. Cartel people don't do black magic on the people of Washington, D.C. The people that are my enemies do. Can we deal with that? get it taken care of. I need to get out of here. Okay? I got stuff to do. The map. Two different destinies. Canada, this is the above the line is Canada, two different destinies, not the United States. The United States still looking good. There's pyramids. They're lavender, which is good, the highest order. You don't Florida, Texas, and Florida, where it should be green, it's red. Very frustrated. Elon Trump makes sense with everything that's going on. The Chicago area has a lot of black magic. We're going to have to take care of it. We will take care of that. I told my group, I said, we have to go back there because there's stuff happening there that shouldn't happen because we cleared it. So why is this all going down? Because somebody went there. Somebody wants trouble in Chicago. Somebody that knows a lot about magic. So we'll go and clear that. And we will see you again. Okay? Try the healing. You get home, your son's looking a little bit not so happy, or your wife, or your dog, or whatever, because you can do it on animals also. Give them healings. Just keep trying. And then check yourself before and after. And you'll go, wow, I feel better.